Looking at some of the articles in his Colorado Springs research and such, he talked about the capacitance, and so it changes in reference from the Earth and distance from surrounding objects. So it kind of makes this interesting effect. That means that you could really have the most scientific experiment that you want and the most perfection, yet if your device is near something, it could be changing the whole results. And it's kind of strange. Like, it almost means like everything's interconnected in a way. So one of his main ways of doing it was he was, this is Colorado Springs. He was, had this inside the building, and noticed as the ball raised on the string that he was doing to show earth capacitance, he found that the building was having an effect on it, and it was pretty considerable, because he said that, you could try to make a perfect estimate, but it won't be perfect if other things are interfering with it. And so he moved it away and shown the height of the Earth. So farther away this ball is from the Earth, the capacitance changes in reference to the Earth. So if you're like really far away from the Earth, like a satellite, you possibly the systems could be changed because of the capacitance effect, but I don't know. So it's very important, because a scientific discovery could have many flaws because of their surroundings. And then accuracy would change by how far away from the Earth you are. And another thing, like, could this really affect atomic clocks? It could possibly. Atomic clocks could significantly change by the distance from the Earth, meaning readings would change substantially to falsify accurate readings. And I'm just saying, like, maybe if you're in space and the satellites, trying to pulse, maybe it's because of the capacitance effect, making it that it's either, they say, slow time or something. So it'd be an interesting thing to check out. So all this comes down to the electrostatic or capacitive effect of the Earth. But he even says, but all objects have the effect on each other. And it kind of I don't know. I said, like, I believe this could suggest quantum entanglement or quantum tunneling. And of course, Tesla interplanetary energy transfer, just because he's saying that this capacitive effect has surroundings. So, we're just standing here and having a capacitive effect on everything around us, the wood, the dirt, everything. And so that's why it's like, is it all connected in a way because of the capacitance? But I don't know. And the quantum tunneling aspect of this is he made energy go faster than light. And quantum tunneling suggests this because you're trying to send energy through like a solid barrier, but it jumps it because it can't go through it. You know what I mean? So it has to jump around it. And then it's like, and then Tesla's interplanetary energy transfer would probably make sense too, because if there's a capacitive nature of the Earth being changed, then the capacitive nature of everything around the Earth should probably change too, with the opposite sign. And so it's just like, it's kind of like on the border of sci-fi. And then, I don't know if it's real or not, but it would take millions and millions of dollars to produce an effect like this. So it would be hard to do that. But that's really it right now. I think I have one more page, so let me just see if I can put that up. So just as a summary, if we make a larger tower, we could make changes on surrounding planets. Yes, this is awesome. But capacitive effect, and it seems, Tesla discovered this first. Tesla saw that if we change the energy sign of the Earth, we change the energy sign of surrounding planets and moons. Almost sounds sci-fi, but could be very true. When you think about the magnifying transmitter, it takes smaller energy, multiplies it, and sends it through the Earth as a huge energy wave. Wardenclyffe Tower would have given about 1 to possibly 100 horsepower on every, or even more than this, to all points on Earth. Now, the larger tower would make so much more energy than this, so it should be possible. And so the effect is like a capacitor in a vacuum, and so you're changing the sign, negative, and then the other side should really kind of show like a positive sign. And then like Earth, and then the moon, vacuum of space, you're changing the Earth to a positive sign, the moon will change to a negative sign. And when you change the Earth to a negative sign, the moon should technically change to a positive sign. And when you make a fluctuation in space, positive, negative, you're starting to make an energy transfer. And now a coil set up on the moon or wherever would technically be able to pull that energy back out because of fluctuation of energy going back through the coil, and then it transfers back into current. So you could really probably have industrial energy transfer in this way. And then, so it's just interesting. Who knows? Could this be our future? But I mean, at some point it seems like we do need to change energy sources. So, and maybe this would make uninhabitable planets able to be livable for humans and whatever. But if anything, the interesting thing I find the most is when he talks about that intelligent signal that he detected, and it's like, well, it's because he's using the low frequencies and pushing energy out there into the universe, and because he made these fast and light effects, was it making like instant transmission through space, and it's kind of airy and amazing, and like if that's real, so maybe it was like return signals, but who knows? Maybe we'll find out someday. But this seems, his way of doing energy seems the best way to advance humanity to make living conditions in space and other worlds. So I don't know. So it could be sci-fi. It could be a crazy interpretation of what he's saying, what I'm saying here, but I don't know, it'd be cool. So guys, yeah, thanks for supporting again, and I just put all this to make people think. So could be totally wrong, but I believe that most of this is right. So bye.